Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and tonight I'm joined by Eric.
Hannah's missing teeth.
We are returning to Days of Our Lives, 1983. We are not just covering Bo and Hope, now we're covering all of Salem. So I will roll the credits and we'll get right into it. So Pete actually spoke sentences.
Oh my God. After stalking this house for months, he's finally done something.
I have to say, Melissa does freaked out and screams like really good. Like it sounds so genuine that she's like freaked out by him.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Pete, we're finally at the kidnapping that we've read about and
Yes.
alluded to.
I was a little confused at where they were at the time. That was the Horton cabin, right?
See, I
Or
don't
no?
know. I don't know. I actually laughed because as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I was like, so at one point there was like a fire and Melissa got free from her restraints and she helped him put out the fire. And
Yeah.
I laughed because I was like, I was like, this is like Ben and Sierra's cabin with the fire.
Uh, yeah, yeah. It was similar. I didn't think about that.
um, so she's being kept there, but not with restraints because there's a huge snowstorm. It's
Yeah.
almost like as if Mikos from General Hospital decided to use his laser beam
I so was thinking that.
so they could snow in Salem.
He's pulling that lever.
So everybody's everybody's worried about Melissa because she was supposed to meet Hope to study and she's been gone for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Maggie's freaking out. She's like she thinks maybe she ran away. But also there's a
Well,
serial killer on the loose.
Well, Mickey guilts her too. He says, "It's your fault," and then he's like, "No, it's not. It's not your fault."
Never mind. Just kidding.
I think he's like, I don't know. I think Mickey's just angry about them not being together. It seems like he kind of took it out on Maggie, I believe. And then once he saw that she was like pretty much devastated that Melissa's missing, he was like, "It's not your fault. I'm sorry."
Right.
I'm like, "All right, Mickey, you gained me back. You were pissing me off for a little bit."
You see what I mean though? The scruff seems to make him edgier.
Yeah, he is edgy for sure. I
Like I
only
almost
knew him
feel
as
like he's
Mickey.
not a good guy. I feel like he's a villain.
When I started watching, I feel like Mickey wasn't even on until like January of '97 or at Christmas, like probably at Christmas, because I don't. He might have been in some kind of custody battle too. Like he's always that lawyer.
Yeah.
So seeing him in like an actual story, I'm like, wow, this is cool. Like it's it. Like Mickey has some juice.
When I started watching, Mickey was always like the lawyer that everybody was like, "Oh, get Mickey to defend you," and I always
Right.
was like, "Why? He never wins."
They never do,
I was
right?
like, "It's never a good idea. Stop hiring him."
The cops never find the killer, and the lawyers never win the cases. Just like
So
I'm just known for the worst lawyer in town.
Larry Welch is like hell bent on making a name for himself by prosecuting Roman for the murders.
Mm.
Um, and Abe and the other cop whose
Oh,
name I can never remember. Remember, I was like, I'm gonna call her
Joan.
Denise.
It's Joan.
Joan. She doesn't look like a Joan. It's
I
never
thought you
gonna
named her
stick.
something other than Denise. I thought you named her something else last week. I can't remember.
I did. I said something else and I said
Mm.
Aura Denise, but I like Denise the best, so I'm sticking with Denise.
It's Joan.
um, they seem to think that if he pleads insanity, that they'll be able to like help him look for who he thinks is the real killer.
So I was confused. So I thought you'd plead guilty by reason of insanity, but they were saying plead not guilty by reason of insanity. So how does that? I was confused by that. I don't think that's a
Yeah,
thing.
I didn't understand that either.
Yeah, because I even wrote guilty, and then I was like, wait, they said not guilty, reason of insanity. How is that possible? I'm insane and I did it. How am I not guilty? Like, I don't know. It's
All
very
I know is
confused.
that Abe was like, "You can't plead guilty. This is a death penalty state. Or Don said that.
I
And
loved seeing.
I was like, it sure is. I was like, they were about to inject Sammy Brady.
Yeah, yeah, right. They were gonna kill her ass. They did inject her like with the first two. Remember?
Yeah.
Wasn't it the last one? And they're like, no. Um.
As the last sand dropped from the hourglass. And
Oh. And then it ended. Wasn't that a cliffhanger? I think that was a cliffhanger. Shit. That was good shit. Anyway, back to 1983.
yeah, I want to go back to the
Um,
90s.
I loved seeing Abe hysterical for Roman because Roman was kind of like that for Abe last year with that storyline. And I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of cool because I was like, I love that they're, like the best friend thing always, all these years later. It was 40 years ago.
I thought about that too, and I thought you would like that when he was like yelling and like he was like really
Yes.
like I was like Eric likes this, I could tell. Like I just felt it.
He threw his shit off the desk. He's like,
Yeah.
"Ah." I was like, yeah, Abe, I know, poor Roman. What's going on?
Oh, you sounded like Marlena. How like Marlena cries, Roman, Roman.
Oh, I know. How nice. I had to look up. I didn't know when Marlena and Roman were married. So I looked up. It was February of that year in '83.
Okay.
Because
We
I
actually got to
thought
see scenes from their wedding. I never actually seen
yes,
the wedding. So they
I
both
thought they
like, were
were.
texting about it.
I thought they were married in '84 for some reason. So I was surprised when she had the flashbacks. I was like, oh, they were married. So when did they get married? Because I
I
thought that
couldn't
stuff was out by
remember.
now.
I couldn't remember when Sammy and Eric were born because I was like, I was thinking about it because I know that Roman dies in '84, and I was like, I don't
Oh, was it
ever. I was
'84?
like, when were they born? Like 84, 85? Like was she pregnant when he died? Because I don't ever remember him being with babies. And then I was
Oh,
like, I
that
looked it
sucks.
up, and I was like, he was never in their lives. I was like, the fact that Sammy's like, Roman's my father, and she like is so mean to John about the affair. Like, I'm like, he didn't raise you. John raised you.
Well, I wonder, you saw all that stuff, right, leading up to that in the '90s?
Yes.
So did they bond? Like, I would assume Roman and Sammy maybe bonded when she was like, "Oh, this is my dead dad."
Well,
Because it, you know,
when
nothing.
he came back, they were still kids. They were still like they weren't sore-assed yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
No, he came back in October, I
80
think,
something?
of '91. So then they had all of '92 with like the other Carrie, and then Sammy came on in
Okay,
January of '93
so they bonded then. At that time, she knew it was her
for a
dad and stuff.
year.
Well, yeah, but it's her dad. You got to remember how fucked up Sammy is. Like, first of all, she thought John was her dad, or for most of her life, I
But
guess, right?
yes, but when they saw her as Sammy, she still cared about John. Like before, like she saw them on the desk, she was like, she would be like, "Oh, I want to call John. Like, I want to like have lunch with him." Like they were still close with
Hmm.
John. Roman would get jealous whenever they would want to go see John.
Hmm. So you gotta watch this stuff, which I'll
Yeah.
see eventually. I'm in '83, so
But
another
anyway, I
10 years.
looked it
I'll
up
be
and
back.
she gave birth to them in '84. So
Okay.
he was around for like a month or two before he was killed
Oh,
off.
that's sad. I thought he was until '85. Now I'm really sad. We're not gonna have him long.
Yeah. I remember Marlena dating somebody kind of in between John coming on, but I like blocked it
Hmm.
out because I didn't like that.
No.
But anyway, back to '83. We got to see Carrie, Kimmy Gibbler.
Uh-huh. Yep. And she's like, "How come Daddy's a killer?" And
Yeah,
Anna's like,
and everybody's like, "Why isn't Anna telling her that that's a lie?" And Anna's like,
"Yeah,
"Oh, I don't know if I believe it." Like that he's innocent.
yeah." Anna does not believe it.
I love the relationship that Bo has with Carrie.
Yes, that was cute.
I feel like that's something that continues.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see more
From
of
what I
that.
rem- from what I remember, when I even watched, they had like a pretty good relationship.
Yeah. Um, so Bo is coming up with a scheme to get Roman out of prison, and he's enlisted Alice Horton's help.
Oh my God, I love this. So I like I said, I couldn't understand some of the things they were saying. So what was the plan? So they had to make the poison donuts. They poisoned them with what? Just like a sleep, something that makes you sleep, or
I guess it's supposed to be something that mimics death, but he's not really dead. Maybe it like makes your
oh,
breathing undetectable
so
or
they
something.
so they actually want Roman to eat them to
Yes.
get him out of prison. Okay,
Yes.
so I didn't know the situation. I was confused because, like I said, I couldn't hear things, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know what they're doing, but I like it. I was
Visually, I like this.
I did. I liked everything about it. I liked that they were in the kitchen and they were like talking the whole time, and then like everybody's coming in, and Tom comes in, he sticks his finger in it. And she's like, "No, don't eat that.
Yeah.
That's for Roman." I was like, "This is great stuff. I love it.
And she made him put
The
the
best."
Thanksgiving decorations back and start taking the Christmas decorations down.
Right. But you know what though? I almost feel like Alice was pretty like they should have covered that dough. Like you have a child there. And like,
Yeah.
that kid, and she could have came and just been like, "Whoop," you know.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know. I
We've
just
already
feel
established
like
Hannah's not the greatest mother. She doesn't really keep an eye on her child.
right. I get that, but Alice, I feel like in the same boat. Like she, I feel like she wouldn't have just left it out on the table, but like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Um, was it me or were there were quite a few times that we opened up with Alex Marshall shirtless in bed?
So he got. I saw Alex get a massage and kiss his whatever she is, a maid or I don't know, a hooker. I don't know what she
Oh, was that
is.
when he was in the tub? Because I remember he pulled
Uh-huh.
her into the tub. Yeah,
Yes.
secretary, whatever she was.
So yeah, there's that, and then he woke up with Gwen.
Mhm.
So I forgot it was Gwen again because I was like, damn it, he's with another hooker, and I was like, oh wait, that's Gwen.
Oh, poor Gwen.
I don't know Gwen well enough yet, and it's like I don't. I'm still learning it. It took me a couple minutes, but I did get it. I was like, oh, that's Gwen. Okay, we're good.
So he's basically
um,
just
I
cheating. He's just cheating on Gwen left and right.
I had Gwen, so I knew Gwen. Me and her go way back. Um, so
Well,
I
she's
looked
in
her up.
prom night.
Well, no, no, no. We go back to her first thing. I didn't even know. So she's in an episode of Wonder Woman called Beauty on Parade, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's Gwen. Yeah, okay. And then like I knew her from 19. Was that 1975? That episode, I think. So yeah, I was excited, and then she was in a bunch of stuff. I thought I wrote it down, but I guess not. But yeah,
Um,
I don't remember her in Prom Night. I haven't watched that in a long time, but I
she's
need to.
basically second lead. Like she has close to as much screen time as Jamie Lee Curtis out of all the girls
Really?
that are in the movie. Yeah, she has the best
Okay.
chase scene in the movie.
Then I must
She has
I
like a
must
Sarah
have
Michelle
it.
Gellar and I Know What You Did Last Summer chase scene
Uh,
where you think she might make it and then she doesn't.
I was devastated by that.
Oh, spoiler alert! If you haven't seen I Know What You Did Last Summer, sorry, it's 25 years old.
You should have seen it by now, damn it. They're gonna have a series, I think.
And Prom Night's also like 40 something years old. So sorry. Um, but
Spoiler alert, everybody dies in horror movies.
yeah, everybody dies. um, Matt, my friend Matt, texted me and told me that she's actually also in Halloween 2. That she has like a small scene in the hospital.
As a patient or a nurse?
I think he said a nurse.
Okay. If it's who I think it is, I think it's the nurse that like leaves. That like
Maybe.
changes shift nurse.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think because I know Halloween too, like the back of my hand. But
uh, oh, we
what
got to
else?
see Liz in jail.
Yes.
So
Um,
her
what is
and Neil are gonna have a jailhouse wedding.
December 9th. They said that multiple like December 9th. Um, what's that lady's name? Charmaine? Charlemagne? The one that's with her in jail. Did you catch it?
I couldn't hear.
Her her
Her
friend.
friend, that's her roommate that keeps reporting back to the other one, Billy. I know that one's Billy.
So so I don't. I thought they were at first doing something to get Liz or like to hurt her, but I think they're actually just trying to get out of jail. Like I think they're just trying to use it as an escape. I'm not
Uh,
sure
maybe.
because when she went to her, they said something like, "Oh, and then all the guards will be there," something like where they're just going to be
Yeah.
able to get out. I don't think they're planning on like hurting Liz or trying to get. I think they're just like trying to find a way. Like when Liz gets out, they want to try to get out. Basically, I think. I'm not sure.
Maybe. You might be onto something.
From from what I hear, they can use whatever they're saying, whatever I'm making out. I could be totally hearing wrong. Maybe they're saying like we're gonna kill her or something, but
I really liked how on Roman's side Dawn was. I
hmm
thought it was an interesting dynamic considering they both were kinda, like, vying for Marlena's affections at one point.
it's because Don still loves Marlena and she's very devastated. And he no, I'm serious. Like I totally believe that he never got over Marlena. Like every scene he's in with her, like he's just like he
Has,
coddles
like, a
to her. Like he
lingering, like, look with her or, like, just the way he acts
She
around her.
has him. She has him whipped. If you remember that expression,
Yeah.
she totally got him. Because like every time he's around, he's like Marlena. I think he even calls her like sweetheart. Like at one point, he's like
Yeah,
sweetheart, and
yeah.
I'm like, hey, yo,
I'm
Roman wouldn't
trying to
like
think if that's just
that.
something he says to all women or if it's specific to her. I don't know, I have to pay attention to that. Um,
Dude, if I was a Days fan back then, once Roman leaves, I probably would have been devastated because I really love their chemistry. I'm like, man, this is gonna be brutal. But maybe just because I'm watching a lot of them,
you like Roman and Marlena's chemistry?
I do. I
Hmm.
love them.
I still prefer her and Drake, honestly, and I don't know if it's just because, like, they're all I knew for so long that I'm just like,
Hmm.
it's anything else.
No, I like their chemistry too, but at the same time, like I feel like this is so well written, like everything for them, that I can see like why fans really like them together. Like Christ, they even went skiing in the one flashback. They were skiing, they were on the ski
Okay,
lift.
so this probably doesn't mean anything to you, but it did to me.
But
In 1993, they're on a ski trip when Sammy comes home, actually, they're on a ski trip, and I was like, "I wonder if that was, like, a callback to this when they were showing them skiing, because they
who
get
was
a
on the
phone
ski
call
trip?
that somebody broke into the house, and they come back from their ski trip, and it's Sammy
Who was
Suarez,
on the who was on the ski trip though?
Roman and Marlena,
Oh,
and they
really?
yeah, because they were together,
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah. So, I was like, "Oh," I was like,
Yeah,
"Is skiing, like, a thing for this couple?" Like, I don't know, it meant something to me, and I was like, "He probably has
right.
he hasn't seen it."
No, I would. I mean, I'm sure it would have, and when I get there in 10 years, it might. I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that.
It was
But
cool to see them, like, outside on an actual ski slope, like, they were standing on skis. I was like, "Good for them." They had good, like, agility. I would fall on my ass.
yeah, I know, right? Like, I'm guessing they probably had to like talk to them about it, like if they ever skied before. Like, I would assume,
Yeah,
and they
and
must
I'm sure
have.
it was, like, cross country. I'm sure there weren't any hills for them to hurt themselves,
Yeah,
but I just thought that was cool that they were actually outside in snow. Do you think that's the
yeah,
infamous Green Mountain Lodge that we always heard about in the '90s?
yeah, right. The one that you only see like the random hotel room that they're in when they're
Right.
there, but you never see like the outside of it.
Um, I really don't know what Pete's end game is because I couldn't hear what he was saying, but he was speaking.
All I got was he wants to get to New York. I don't know if he's gonna let Melissa go when he gets to New York. I didn't know if they were in a cabin in New York. I was very confused, but
I
I just
rem
heard New
I
York
did
a
make
lot.
out him saying, "Are you afraid of me?" And she's like, "I'm not afraid of you." And I like when Melissa gets tough and she, like, stands up for herself. And then he
Yeah,
was like, "Maybe you should be." And then she got a little, like
she's like, I don't know. I'm confused with their relationship.
well, it's still the early stages. What I am confused about, and I've just given up because I don't care anymore, is the whole Tony Sandy Chris Kosticek thing because I don't know who she's supposed to be with. Clearly, Chris has feelings for her and doesn't know that she's hanging out with Tony so much. And I don't care about this triangle so much because I feel like it amounts to nothing.
Well, I guess I will if Sandy's leaving, but I actually liked it. I was
But
actually
she's
like
not leaving
into
for
it
like
because
months, and I just like I don't care.
I did care. Damn it, I liked it. I'm like she's like okay, so I guess she leaned on like Tony, stayed overnight at his place, which was kind of not right if you're dating Chris, but whatever. She was in the guest room, she said.
Matt also messaged me about this, and I think he said that Kim Brady, yeah, Kimberly Brady, ends up being what Sandy was supposed to be to Tony, like
Oh, really?
her introduction to the show. I
Okay.
think that's what he said. He'll correct me in the comments.
We'll see that eventually. We'll see it eventually. Don't spoil it too much.
Yeah.
We'll
Um,
figure it out.
yeah, I'm just gonna go on a whim and say I don't think I like Sandy. I feel like she's kind of useless.
Ah, rude. I don't think she's useless. I like her. I didn't really like her at first, but she kind of grew on me. And
But
I don't think it
also,
wasn't.
I
I don't
don't.
think it was until she started with Tony, and then I was like, okay, she's showing a little edge. She's going with Tony. She's going with Chris. Maybe she's just dating around. That's all right.
But
Do
also,
you?
with the exception of Tom and Alice, I don't really love many Hortons. Like I like they're not my favorite characters. If I like had to
Oh,
pick from everybody on D's, so
right.
I mean, I appreciate them. I respect their place on the show. They're the first family of the show, but like
You
they're not
respect their
always my favorite
Christmas.
characters.
You respect their Christmas balls.
I respect the Christmas tradition. I actually look forward to that every year.
Yeah, me too.
um,
Remember the one year like everybody was being killed? It was like so depressing. It
that was
was
around the time I
amazing.
started to tune out,
Yeah.
so I don't really remember it.
Yeah, it was sad.
I did see the
Because I think they
first.
killed three people at that point.
So I did watch it because I remember the whole circus thing with the tiger, and
Yeah.
it was I made it up to Alice, and once they did that, I was like, I'm done. I'm bailing. Like once they got Alice.
That was the best one.
I,
Poison Donuts? It was
yeah,
amazing.
and I was like, nope, they killed Grandma Alice. I'm done.
Oh my God. You're so funny.
And we knew it was Marlena at that point. I was like, fuck you, Marlena. Fuck you forever. I was like, she's
How
possessed.
dare
I
you?
don't care what they
How
think. She's possessed to go.
dare you kill Alice?
I remember being on the message boards and everybody was speculating that they're like, she's possessed. It has to be. That's the only way Marlena would do this.
I was more upset when they brought everybody back to life. I was like, what a cop out.
It was a cop out.
It was a huge
It was a
cop
cop
out.
out.
Because
You know,
I thought that storyline was awesome, and I was like on the edge of my seat. I didn't know what was going on. They were killing everybody off, and I was just like, "This is amazing." And then they brought everybody back, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I felt like all my emotions were for nothing because I was like
I
more than
kind of
these
like about
people.
YNR and Bold is like death is a little bit more permanent on those shows unless you're like a Sheila Carter or like a big character like that
Right,
or
right.
Adam Newman, but like death is pretty permanent on those shows. They killed my
Yeah.
Colleen on YNR though. I wish they would reverse that.
The ice didn't she drown in ice
She
or
fell through
something?
the ice and they killed her.
Whoops.
You're rude.
I wasn't I wasn't into the teen gang on YNR.
Oh my god, JT and Colleen were the one thing that pulled me into YNR.
I was all about Ashley. Ashley wasn't on, I really didn't care. And I think she was gone that time. She
Yeah,
she
I think
comes
she's
and
on
goes
hold. I think
every
she may
other
have been on
month.
hold.
Yeah, she comes and goes.
But back to days.
Back to Davis.
So Roman, Bo pays Roman a visit, and he kind of is trying to get him in on the plan, but he won't be left alone, so he could talk to Roman about it. So he's like,
Right.
"You really like those chocolate donuts, don't you? Especially the
Mhm.
chocolate ones."
Yeah.
And Roman's kind of like, "Yeah, the chocolate one."
Yeah. The chocolate ones.
So, um,
So where is this tape? Who has the damn tape? Where am I at? So Anna put it in this blue
Where am
thing.
I at?
She's digging for the around. I'm like, where is this fucking tape? And then she got busted. It was funny. She got. Did you remember that?
No, because I
How
couldn't
are you
hear
not
what was
concerned about
happening.
this tape?
Because I don't care about the
Um,
storyline. I don't like Anna. What? I don't like these characters.
um, Alice was in there too. Everybody was in there because they busted her. So, in the one part, they said something about because remember Anna said that it was a mixed tape or a tape that a lot that Carrie made for her. She sang lullabies on it or some shit.
Yes, I did make that
And
part out.
so at the end or in the last episode we watched, it was they're like, "Oh, but Carrie, you could just make your mom another tape." She's like, I
And
didn't
she
do
goes,
that."
huh?
And
Yeah.
then Anna's like, "Yeah, you did." She's like, "You can just make me another one though. It's okay." And Carrie's like so confused. I'm like,
Yeah.
she's fucking this poor 4-year-old child's brain out.
She's like, what?
She's like gaslighting her child. It's great. That's why I like Anna. I like a good asshole, and she's a good asshole. I like her.
I like her
I
more when
wasn't sure.
Variety comes on.
I wasn't sure how if I was gonna like old Anna because I love Anna now, so I didn't think she'd be the same, and she's honestly like the exact same asshole today as she was back then, and I love every second of it.
See, I don't think she's an
So,
asshole now. I just feel like she's a ditz now.
oh, now,
Yeah.
she's not. I mean, she inadvertently does things, but whatever. Or she tells everybody secrets by accident.
See, I felt
Um,
like when they brought her back in like around 2009-ish and she was helping out EJ with like Sydney being missing, like she was the one that had the baby. I thought that was out of character. I don't know why, because I didn't really know her that well.
right, 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 right.
Maybe I was going based off of people's like opinions on the message boards back then. But so and even
No,
that feels completely different to what she is now. Like when she was helping like hide Sydney or whatever from Sandy.
yeah,
I'm like, why would she do that?
for Carrie. Didn't she do it for Carrie?
No, Carrie wasn't on the show then.
I don't remember. I have to rewatch the whole series. Let
EJ,
me
like
get back to
you have
19.
to watch the whole series,
I'm
all
kidding.
58 years.
Get back to me
And
in
you're
about
still
20
like 6
years.
months behind. You have to go back and watch the
I have to watch it all from the beginning. Whatever I can find.
I gotta start over.
I gotta start over. Let me get back to black and white.
Ugh.
But so what Anna's doing now, she didn't in these episodes she met up with Alex. She wants the $1 million. He's paying her in 4 different installments. He gave her the first installment. She already went out. She spent the money on jewelry and a fur coat, which I'm sure PETA was very excited about back then. They were like picketing everywhere back then.
Anna is not
And
frugal.
no, she's already spent. And then she calls them. This is only 4 episodes we watched. And she's already calling them for the second part of the month. I'm like, dude, you just got like $250,000. What the fuck? And you're in Salem. Like, where are you shopping?
Right.
Like, I don't know. I feel like Salem's like a middle class town, right?
I feel like that's the way it was portrayed back then, and then like
Right.
at some point, maybe in the 90s, that's when the millionaires started coming in.
Um, I guess
Um,
Stefano and Victor were like the
well, maybe
millionaires.
so I guess mid 80s. They had to glam it up. It was the 80s.
So yeah, so she's trying to get Alex to give her more money already, and she can't find this fucking tape. God knows where it is.
But she's alleging that she has multiple copies.
Yeah, but I'm dying. You know what? I guess Carrie took the tape. No, I don't think she was there at that time though, because she had to
That
pick
would be
Carrie
that
up.
would be in Days Wheelhouse. Because remember when they used to have like little Sierra when she was a baby, like and Theo
Right.
like stealing things.
They'd be doing shit. But Carrie wasn't there yet because I remember she's like, "Oh, I have to pick Carrie up from wherever, Romans or Marlena's or whatever." Oh, they're right across the street though. I
They're
don't
right
know.
across the street.
I don't, I don't know. I just need to know where this fucking tape is. I'm very concerned. I always like I said, when I like an asshole, I usually want them to get away with it, and I'm like, I want her to find the tape so she has the blackmail material. It's like Kristen. I was always team Kristen when she was driving Laura insane in 1997 or 90, yeah, 97 when when Peter went missing and they wanted to dig up Peter's grave. That's one of my favorite scenes ever in Days history.
I don't remember her messing with Laura. I don't ever remember those two characters interacting.
Are you crazy?
No, I
She
don't.
brainwashed Laura.
She did.
You need to rewatch and you need to go now. Get off
I
here
watched
and watch
I
Days of
watched those
97.
years so quickly in such a blur, like it all kind of blended together.
Oh my God, it's the best stuff ever. Oh my God, that was
I
what
was
got
more
me so
invested in
hooked.
the Susan Elvis stuff than I was.
That was not
And like
even.
the secret room and the killing pool. I was into all
It
that
was
stuff.
during the secret room. That's when Laura came over and was trying to expose her because she got brainwashed at Christmas time. Laura knew the secret. Laura knew that Peter was alive. Laura knew that Stefano was alive, and Laura knew that pregnant Kristen was faking her pregnancy. And Stefano and Kristen and Peter brainwashed
You're very passionate about this. Perhaps we should watch The Secret Room next.
her. I'm just devastated that you don't remember it. It's so much because remember they Stefano hired Nurse Lynn to keep giving Laura drugs. Like Laura was a huge part of the storyline.
I
All right.
also am
Anyway,
not.
we'll go back to.
I've
I'll
already
fight with
established
you
I'm
off
not a big
screen.
Horton fan, and Laura Horton, it was not one of my favorite characters.
So then you must have been excited when they killed her off. You were like, yes.
No. Well, I actually wasn't watching back then, but no, I didn't want her to die.
I was fine with it. I never liked Laura. I wa- I wanted Kristen
And
to
now
get
I'm
away with
like
it.
shocked.
But anyway, what were we talking about?
Yeah,
And
let's get back to the
yeah,
80s
so
because I was about to go on like another 90s tangent talking about another storyline. And I want to go back to the
we just
90s.
we just have to have like one where we just talk about all of the day's stuff that we have in our heads.
Yeah. You like remember
um,
this? I'm like, no.
I'm gonna fight with you off screen about this. You have to. I mean, whatever. So,
So yeah,
uh,
Bo is staying at Marlena's.
so wait, hold on. About Bo, I just read Bo fantasized about being married to Hope. That was weird.
Yes, yes.
I was like, okay. So he's. Oh, I don't understand why. I guess I can see why. He's like fighting everything. He fights his feelings. I don't even know how he doesn't just like burst out and scream because he's fighting his feelings for Hope. He's fighting his feelings for Roman because he's like trying to help Roman. And Alice is like, I know you care about your brother. Like, what
And
the
he's
fuck?
like, no, he's like, he's my brother. What else am I gonna do?
He's like, no, I just want justice done. Like, just say you love your brother and get the fuck over yourself. Like, what the
Right.
fuck, Bo? And tell Hope you love her. Like, what is it? Like, it's just dragging on.
But
Um,
I also feel like that's part of his character arc, his
yeah,
relationship with
and
Roman.
I do like it because you see like him in the next scene, like he's like, "Oh, Hope, we love you, Dovey, and cute. I made you hot cocoa and all this shit." And then he's like, "Yeah, I don't want to go to your birthday." She's like, "Fuck,
She's
whatever."
like, fuck, I was gonna have a disc jockey.
There will be a disc jockey. We got to see Julie a lot in this, but I feel like she wasn't really doing much. I did like the conversation that Hope and Julie had, though.
Oh yeah. Um, I liked so we'll call her by her Christian name. Joan and Abe were having dinner at Doug's
What do you
place.
mean, Denise?
Yes, Denise, Denise. Um, and she was like questioning them on like the progress of finding Melissa. And I was like, oh, that's right, because Melissa's like your adopted niece-ish
Niece-ish.
or cousin.
Ish.
Mickey's her uncle, and that's his adopted daughter. So maybe cousin, adopted cousin.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm like, God, I was like, they still need to eat. Like, they can't just be looking for Melissa all the time. It's a snowstorm.
This is so sorry.
I was like, leave Abe Carver alone. Let him eat.
It needs its protein.
um, I think that was pretty much it. I thought we would see more Liz.
I felt like there was a lot. Wait, hold on. Let me make
Oh,
sure we
there
got
was a
everything.
scene. It was at Maggie's house where
Oh,
she was holding a
okay.
baby, and I at first I was like, "Oh, is that Noelle?" Like baby, like Liz and what's his name? Liz and
Don. Don.
no,
Neil.
Neil, Liz and Neil's child, and then I was like, "Oh, maybe that's baby
Sarah,
Sarah,
right?
Sarah Horton."
Yeah, it was Sarah. I
Yeah,
think it was
that
Sarah.
would make sense that Maggie was holding a child.
I have. They were. We forgot to mention that Chris. Chris had bought Shenanigans or whatever, and he's interviewing waitresses. I'm like, so the one waitress scene. There's like all these poor waitresses, and they're like whores. They're like, I'm like, he's not running a whorehouse. They're like, oh, and they're all like coming on to him, and then Hope
Yeah.
comes, and she's like, I want to be a waitress, and he's like, no, and he's like, whatever. And then she did it again in like another episode. She's like, yeah, I still want to be a waitress. He's like, you still want to be a waitress? Like, why would that change? Like, the bitch wants a job. Like, give her a job. What the fuck, Chris?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you want like somebody that you know? Like, she's getting her shit together. She hasn't been that bad. Give her a chance. What the fuck? He'd rather hire these whores. Um, Roman. Well, we already said Roman pleaded. Well, yeah, he pleaded not guilty instead of the insanity thing.
I know we mentioned
He,
this at some point. It may not have been last time, but it was at some point. I think Danny's gone. I
mhm.
don't see Danny anywhere. I don't see any mention of
They
Danny. I think he's just
They
gone.
mentioned them. They
They
did
did?
mention them in the last episode I just watched. They said, "Oh my God, who was talking?" It was, I think Neil was talking to Julie or something, and she said, "Oh yeah," he said, like, oh yeah, thanks to Danny or whatever for helping them get out of whatever the situation was that they did with Liz." She did mention because I even said, "Oh, Danny mentioned," because they haven't talked about him since. But yeah, I'm assuming he's probably gone, but they did mention him.
I think he's gone because I honestly don't remember. Not that this means anything, but I don't remember seeing him ever again, like past this point. And at
And
least not in '84. I don't.
Liz asked her cellmate to be the maid of honor, who's not her friend,
Yeah,
so
her friend, not friend.
she better look out.
I wonder if we
The
see them both
Marlena,
again.
yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering. I guess they're probably going to try to get out that day, so that the jailbreak should be fun, or whatever they're doing, which hopefully we have, right? I hope.
I think I know
But
what happens there because I think you read it at some point.
oh, okay, I might have.
Yeah.
Marlena keeps visiting Roman, and she says, "I believe you," and she's like, "Yeah, even now I see." She's like, "I know it's not you."
She wouldn't let go of him.
Um,
Like when they had that meeting that they're not really
I
supposed to
know.
have, like where she got to be in the office with him, and she sat down. She like wouldn't let go of his hand. She was just like,
I know. I love them. I'm so
um,
into them as a couple. I'll miss it in a few months.
well, a year.
Um, they were trying to hold off the reporters for Marlena, and she decided to talk to one, that lady, but I don't think anything came of it. I thought they were gonna like do something, but nothing happened.
I'm excited to see the whole donut breakout play out because I don't really
Me
remember how it
too.
plays out.
Me too. I'm excited to see.
I hope we get to see it.
Um,
I think we do because yeah, I think
I
we.
thought of I thought of you when Don and Maggie went over to Marlena's house, and Maggie like gave Marlena a hug and was there for her. I'm like, mm.
Two Faces. She was creeping on you,
Tommy
man.
probably he probably went to the bathroom during this part. This is my pee break.
She is not
Maggie
your
was
friend. She stole your ex-husband. She was creepy.
um. So yeah, the Melissa and Pete stuff was pretty much the same shit over and over.
Except
We
now
don't
he's
exact
speaking
well,
sentences.
he's actually speaking instead of talking. Although, if she didn't walk in on him, when he was somewhere trying to get money out of
He
a
was
register.
in Shenanigans
Was
trying to
it
break into
shenanigans?
the cashier box, but the place isn't open yet, so
Oh,
there's no money in it.
that got on my nerves too because they did that shit where they literally just walked out and then Hope comes in and be like, "Melissa, where you at?"
Oh.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then Bo comes right in. I'm like, where were you 5 seconds ago?
He's just like, "Hey, Hope,
Whatever.
what are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I was just looking for Melissa. I thought she might be in here." She was.
We didn't hear people talking or nothing. Like, whatever.
Well, if you remember, Bo now lives in the basement. He lives below Shenanigans.
Oh, right, right. Um, like I said, we got to see the flashbacks to the wedding, Marlena and Roman. Uh-huh.
I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I
It
think
was 4 episodes.
so.
That's what. Yeah, we watched 4 episodes. That sounds like 4 episodes worth of stuff.
And Nico says Weather Machine is still around in 1983, but in Salem.
You wrote that too.
No, I just said that. Um, I saw we had a part with Gene with the flashback of Alex killing Renee this time.
Oh, so Greg was in the room when I was watching that, and he was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
Q," and I was like, "What?" He's like from Star Trek, and I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Yeah, this is before his Star Trek days."
Yeah, that's what yeah, because a lot of people know. I think he was in the Next Generation, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Um, oh, he brought. I don't know why I even wrote this. I put Gene comes by with Danishes.
Yeah.
That's very important to the storyline. Um, they talk about Larry. Oh, Larry. Wait, hold on.
Larry just made a brief
Oh,
appearance. He's just grandstanding, thinking he's
well, Roman thinks Larry is. I don't know. I didn't get this part. I was hoping you did. Roman thought Larry was behind the deaths, or just thought that he was framing Roman for the deaths. Because Roman was talking about it, but I wasn't sure what he was saying. Because he said, "I know Larry, or he knows. I know Welch is behind this." I'm like, behind what? Like just getting you arrested, or like the murders? I wasn't sure what he was referring to.
probably he probably meant like pushing to have him
Just
convicted for it.
so convicted. Okay.
Yeah. The initial hearing I thought was small. Like it felt like it was in an office instead of a courtroom, like at a like a desk in like an office space.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little strange for a murder.
Yeah. Right. I was
Uh,
impressed by Tony's snowman.
Tony. Right, he's
Did
not
you see
Victor
this?
in
Did you
this.
see that snowman?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think anybody ever built a snowman like the size of them. Like that was huge.
Yeah, but I kind of like was playing with my phone during this because it was a Sandy thing. It was a Sandy Tony thing. I was
Poor
like, yeah, nah.
Sandy. She gets the shit of the Hortons.
No offense, girl, no offense.
Oh, there was a part that Joan told Maggie that they have the killer, referring to Roman, which I thought was fucked up, but like, I guess it kind of was
Oh,
trying to ease her mind.
I do like a young
Don't.
Jennifer, but once Michael T. Weiss comes on as Mike Horton, I might be paying attention to the Hortons a little bit more.
You'll be watching the screen.
Yeah.
Well, you liked them on Dark Shadows revival,
Well, I
right?
like him on Dark Shadows because I like him as Mike Horton.
Oh, he was good as Jeremiah in Dark Shadows, better than
Oh yeah, he was better as Jeremiah. What was his other
yeah, he
Joe?
was
Was
good.
it Joe? His other
Oh
character?
yeah, it was Joe, yeah.
Yeah. Um.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. We're kind of talking in circles now.
Well, I was just reviewing all because I think we like when we first started, we jumped in like the last episode. We missed some of the things like in other episodes. Because I'm like, wait a minute, other stuff happened.
And then this, and then this.
And then Tony's giant snowman.
And that's how we'll end it. Tony's Giant Snowman.
Oh, I know, and Sandy, I did make reference. Sandy's her fur coat and her fur hat. It reminded me of Alexis in Dynasty.
I could see
I
that.
don't know if you I don't know if you got to that season, but there's one where she has this like huge fur hat, and you can only see like this part of her face, like this, and this hat is on, and this fur is she looks like a bear. Like you would be like, oh my god, a bear if you saw her. And
I feel like I
look
have
this. It was,
seen that. If it wasn't the
did you
episode,
see
I
it?
definitely have seen pictures of that.
It was. I think she was. I want to say she was going to a plane. Like she was in like they were in like a an airport or something, and she was walking, and I'm like, "What is that outfit? It was insane." My friend was like, "Yeah, she just killed like several bears for that fur." Poor PETA, they were like picketing nonstop.
Well, as of this podcast, we are officially done with November of 1983. So we have one more month left of 1983. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So thank you for joining us for another edition of Classic Days of Our Lives. As always, you can
fun
find us
fact.
on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night. Bye.
Bye.